Okay, backhoe buckets. Recently, I made a comment or a reply on JS Backhoe Ops channel about using a slab crab bucket, and he said he preferred just to use his Geith digging bucket, and I agreed. And we talked a little bit about the differences in bucket design. And the four buckets on the left are Geith buckets. They're either HD or MX series, regular shanked digging buckets for equipping any kind of 23 series tooth, whether it's a chisel, a spade, a rock tip, a trident, whatever it is you use, those will all take teeth. And then the four on the right are case buckets that used to be shanked that I cut the shanks off of and just use as a smooth edge bucket. And so the real big difference between the two is that the Geith buckets have a curved side plate design. So the profile of the bucket, when you look at it from ground level from one side to the other, has a pretty pronounced curve in it. It's more on the MX series than the HD series, and I don't know why, but they're pretty similar. And I think the two buckets in the middle are HDs and the two on the outside are MXs. I think, I'm not sure. But then the case buckets all have straight side plates, and that translates into a couple things. I find the Geith buckets with the curved side plates self-load a lot better. When you're flat bottom digging, bringing the bucket to you, maintaining the tips of the teeth in constant contact with whatever grade you're digging, dirt goes into the bucket better in a Geith bucket than it does a case bucket. I could not tell you exactly why, but my hunch is it has something to do with the side plate design. The case buckets are fine. I made do with them for years. You still dig. You can still get a bucket full of dirt. It's just that if you're chasing the last few crumbs out of a ditch, or you got the last little scoops on the ground of a stockpile you're rounding up, I find that the Geith buckets do better. So once I had a full set of Geith buckets, I took several of my case buckets, torched the teeth off, modified the big one, and I use them just for cleanup. If I'm digging shallow trenches for something where I want to carry a pretty consistent grade and I don't feel like doing a lot of raking or shoveling, I might dig a waterline ditch or a conduit ditch or something with a smooth edge bucket, as long as the soil is will allow me to. Some places around here we can dig quite deep with a smooth edge bucket, and the machine has more than enough power to get a full bucket of dirt with a smooth edge without teeth. The penetration that the teeth provide is almost irrelevant in a lot of our normal digging conditions. There's more than enough power in the crowd and stick and boom and curl cylinders in this machine to do that. So anyway, so I've got 8 buckets for this machine. Actually, I've got more in another place. I have all these because I've got 2 backhoes, a Super M and a Super L, and I actually have, sometimes I have, two of the same, because the machines might be on different jobs and I might need the same bucket on each one. So anyway, what I'll normally do when I go to work, load the machine up on a trailer, is I've got one bucket hooked into the quick coupler and a couple more rolled up in the 4-in-1, and I just try to anticipate whatever I'm going to be doing on the job, and that's what I take with me. So it took a while to accumulate all these. Luckily, since backhoes are so unpopular these days, online people list them for sale locally. So anyway, buckets. That's how I look at it. And I'd be curious to hear if there's a different brand of bucket that you use besides the case buckets, if there's something better than Geith, or if you've had any experience. So if you're a backhoe person, tell me what you think.
I found this footage from another foundation job I was going to make a video of that I never got around to, but I thought I'd include it in the bucket discussion because it's got a couple of shots of digging footings, or footings that I was digging with a smooth edge bucket. And that's one of the other uses. I don't think I really talked about it. I talked about doing a waterline ditch or whatever. But I think most of the time, most people would dig footings with a tooth bucket. And yeah, that's obviously the normal way to do it. And I do plenty of them like that. But if I'm in the right kind of dirt, I'll dig with a smooth edge bucket. This is some decomposed shale, so it's kind of a clay, not like a shrink swell or expansive or marine clay. It's the good kind of clay, high bearing. You can see the seams from the rock line in there. If I kept digging, that would be rockier and rockier. But anyway, so you can see how clean it is. The sidewall is very straight and carved, and it's clean. I didn't have to shovel anything. I could just scrape it all the way down to grade, and then maybe I got to clean up a couple corners here and there, like where my steps are. I'll have to shovel some of that, but I have a mini here on the job. I think, yeah, there it is, with a 2-foot bucket. So I, very well could have been digging it with that. That's the other thing too, is that whenever I can, I use a backhoe to dig footings rather than a mini. And I could do it either way, but I prefer a backhoe, especially when the pad you're working on is not, pre-graded level. If you got a dead level pad, sure, I'll use a mini for that. But otherwise, the backhoe is it's almost like it was built to dig footings or something. I don't know. Anyway, just a little extra footage at the end showing what it looks like when I dig footings with a smooth bucket instead of a tooth bucket in some clay type material. All right, thanks for watching.